Thinking of exiting your business or taking on a private equity partner to help you grow faster? BizNexus has you covered. Tap into our network of thousands of best-fit investors, acquirers, and proven M&A advisors, and we'll help you begin the relationship confidentially on your terms, your timeline. Learn more at biznexus.com.
Disclaimer from the always present legal team. Podcast conversations don't necessarily reflect the views of BizNexus Incorporated. Everything you hear is informational news and updates from around the industry. We're not recommending any investments. We're not offering any investment advice. Be sure to do your own homework.
When we think about companies merging, M&A, we often picture the big headlines, the handshake deals.
Right, the final price tag.
Exactly. But there's this critical piece, often kind of hidden, that can totally change the game: intellectual property, specifically patents.
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. Understanding a target company's patents isn't just ticking a box. It can make or break the deal's value.
And that's where patent due diligence comes in, right? We need to unpack this.
We do. Patent due diligence, and we're drawing heavily here from information compiled by Yali Friedman PHD. It's basically a systematic review, a deep look at the company's patent assets.
So not just counting them up?
Not at all. It's about digging into who really owns them, how strong they are legally, are they actually enforceable, and crucially, how well they fit with the buyer's strategy.
Okay.
Think about it. If the ownership isn't clean, that could instantly lower the value, or worse, lead to lawsuits down the road. So checking that chain of title is like step one, non-negotiable.
Right. And that's really our focus today, getting into the nitty-gritty of patent due diligence and M&A, using these insights from Yali Friedman PHD. And this is super relevant, especially if you're looking at deals in the, say, lower middle market.
Yeah, that's a great point. In the lower middle market, you might have fewer resources for endless legal reviews, so understanding this upfront becomes even more critical.
So what are the main goals here? Dr. Friedman's work must lay this out.
It does. There are several key objectives. First, like we said, verifying ownership, making absolutely sure the target company holds clear rights, no hidden inventors who never signed off, things like that.
Yeah.
Then you've got to assess patent validity. Just because a patent exists doesn't mean it's rock solid. Will it actually hold up if challenged?
Okay, makes sense.
Freedom to operate.
Yeah.
FTO, this is huge. Are the target's products or services potentially infringing on other companies' patents? You absolutely need to know that.
Right, you don't want to buy a lawsuit.
Exactly. Imagine buying a company, launching their main product, and immediately getting hit with an injunction. Nightmare scenario, especially for smaller acquirers. And finally, there's strategic alignment. Do these patents actually support where the acquiring company wants to go?
So it's a multi-step process, clearly, not just a quick check. How does it typically unfold, according to Dr. Friedman's info?
Well, the process usually kicks off with preliminary preparation. This means the acquiring company needs to be really clear on its strategic goals for the IP. What do they want to do with these patents?
Okay. Strategy first.
Yes. And then assembling the right team. You need your patent attorneys, obviously, but also technical experts who can actually understand the inventions and their value. It's a cross-functional effort.
Got it. Legal and tech eyes together. Then what?
Then comes inventory and categorization. Basically creating a detailed list of all the patents the target owns or has applied for.
Just a list.
Well, more than just a list. You organize it by technology area, by country jurisdiction is key, and by legal status. Is it granted, pending, expired? This gives you a clear map of the portfolio, especially useful if the target's records aren't perfectly organized, which can happen in smaller companies.
Right, getting a clear picture. Okay, so we have the map. What's next?
Ownership verification. We touched on it, but Dr. Friedman really emphasizes this. You have to comb through the assignment records. Confirm the target legally owns the patents free and clear. Are there any litigants? Any licenses? Any encumbrances?
Encumbrances.
Yeah, like legal claims or restrictions on the patent. If that ownership chain is messy, it can force renegotiation, maybe a lower price. It's a major flag.
Okay, so own it clean, but even if they own it, is it actually strong?
Good question. That leads to the next stage. Validity and enforceability assessment. This is where Dr. Friedman's information points to looking at prior art.
Prior art being?
Basically, earlier inventions or publications that might show the patented invention wasn't actually new or was obvious. That could invalidate the patent. You also check if maintenance fees are paid, crucial for keeping it alive, and look into any litigation history. Has this patent been challenged before? How did it fare?
So a patent might look good on paper but be legally weak.
Precisely. And then, flipping the coin, you have the freedom to operate analysis, the FTO we mentioned. Dr. Friedman highlights this as vital.
Right, making sure you don't infringe on others.
Exactly. Are the target's products, the ones you're acquiring, potentially infringing on someone else's valid patents? Finding this out before the deal closes is critical. Post-acquisition infringement suits can be devastating.
So after all this digging, ownership, validity, FTO, what do you do with all that information?
That feeds directly into your risk mitigation strategies, as Dr. Friedman explains. The findings shape the negotiation. Maybe you push for a lower price because of weak patents or identified FTO risks. You might build in specific protections, like indemnification clauses, where the seller agrees to cover costs if certain pre-existing issues pop up later. And, of course, you plan how to integrate these patents into your own IP strategy after the deal closes.
It sounds complex, and I can imagine there are quite a few places things could get tricky, especially, again, for maybe smaller companies in that lower middle market. What are some common roadblocks Dr. Friedman points out?
Yeah, there are definitely common challenges. Incomplete ownership records are a big one, especially in less formally managed portfolios. Hidden licensing obligations, maybe the target already gave someone else rights to use a key patent.
Oh, that could be a surprise.
For sure. Then you have cross-jurisdictional complexities. Patents are country-specific, so managing a portfolio across different legal systems adds layers of difficulty. And undisclosed litigation risks, ongoing lawsuits, or even just the threat of one related to the patents.
So given those hurdles, what are the best practices? How can companies, maybe those with tighter budgets in the lower middle market, do this effectively, based on Dr. Friedman's insights?
Dr. Friedman's work suggests a few key things. Using standardized checklists helps ensure thoroughness, even with limited resources. Leverage technology, patent databases, and analytics tools can really streamline the search and analysis process.
Makes sense. Use tools.
Absolutely. Transparency and collaboration with the target company are also crucial. You need them to provide the necessary documents and information. And maybe most importantly, for resource-constrained situations, focus. Focus on the high-value patents.
The crown jewels, so to speak.
Exactly. The ones most critical to the core business or future plans. Don't get bogged down analyzing every single minor patent if the budget is tight. Prioritize.
That practical focus seems key. Didn't Dr. Friedman's compilation also mention a big, real-world example of patent value in M&A?
It did. The Google acquisition of Motorola Mobility back in 2012 for, what was it, $12.5 billion. A huge part of that valuation, as Dr. Friedman notes, was Motorola's massive patent portfolio.
Right, they were in the thick of the smartphone wars then.
They were. And Google strategically used those patents in litigation. It really showcased how patents can be not just defensive shields, but offensive assets worth billions. It wasn't just about the phones, it was a massive IP play.
Wow. Okay, so beyond the direct legal muscle, are there financial angles like tax to consider with these patents during a deal?
Oh, definitely. You need to look at the legal and tax side. Dr. Friedman's information highlights things like tax incentives. Some countries have schemes, like the IP box scheme, offering lower tax rates on profits generated from intellectual property.
IP box. Okay.
Yeah, understanding those potential tax benefits can significantly boost the net value of the patents post-acquisition. It can make a portfolio look much more attractive financially, which is often a key driver in the lower middle market.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive, really leaning on the work compiled by Yali Friedman PHD, it hammers home just how essential patent due diligence is. It's not just paperwork.
Not at all. It's fundamental for uncovering risks and sometimes finding hidden value, especially in that lower middle market space.
And it sounds like verifying ownership and doing that freedom to operate check are maybe the most critical parts.
They're certainly up there, as Dr. Friedman emphasizes. Understanding the whole process, though, from prep and inventory through validity checks and risk mitigation, helps companies make smarter bets in M&A. It really increases the odds of the deal being a success long term.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How much this deep knowledge of intellectual property can influence a company's value and the outcome of these major transactions. It kind of leaves you wondering, what proactive steps could you take now to get a better handle on the patent landscape in your own industry, or for a business you might be eyeing? Definitely food for thought.
Acquiring a business? BizNexus simplifies it. Access thousands of updated opportunities in our DIY marketplace, or supercharge team sourcing with OmniSource, your all-in-one platform for on-market, off-market, and coming-soon deals. Scale smarter today. Learn more or book a demo at www.biznexus.com.